it's a skill. I look at screenwriting as a craft, and you have to learn your craft. I wasn't born with this. Believe me, my first scripts were terrible. I had to learn all this. And so what I learned in this course is stuff that I learned from working from writers who are way more talented, way more successful than I am, like Steve Levitan and Chris Lloyd and Greg Daniels. And all this stuff they just passed down to me because I was on their writing staff. And then I eventually became a showrunner, and I approach story a little bit differently than they do. That's not to say better or worse. It's just I approach it a little differently.
Yeah, would you call that voice? Is that when people say the term voice, your voice is different?
Well, every writer has a different, voice, but also in terms of how they approach story. Everyone kind of, I find different writers, some writers are a little more intuitive, and they just know in their gut, like they're just born with that gift, and I wasn't born with that gift, so I have a process that I use and that I teach. It's the process that I use, and because I'm not a natural born storyteller. Some people are, but of those people are very rare, I think. You know?
So what I'm hearing you say is someone who, has been told I have writing talent, but felt very unfocused, is that I can learn to focus the talent I have through a process.
Yeah, right.
It's learnable. It's not, a God-given gift that you just have. You're not some innate thing that evolution gave you. But you can learn how to do this.
Yeah, and it's funny because I had a friend of the family was here about a week or two ago, and she's working on a play. And so she's stuck. She's been working on this for months, and she's stuck. And she wanted to bounce it off of me. And I go, okay, just tell me the story. And I kept on interrupting her. No, that doesn't go with me. That doesn't. And at the end, because she was blocked. And in the end, I go, okay, well, here's your story. This is what you need here at bottom of Act 1, middle of Act 2. This is what you need. Here's what I would do. And it wasn't like I wasn't telling her. I wasn't critiquing her story. I was saying, okay, if this is the story you want to tell, this is what you need to do. I wasn't telling her whether it was a good story or a bad story. I wasn't like that. That's subjective. I said, if this is the one story you want to tell, this is what it needs. And at the end of we talked for about an hour. It was like she had witnessed a magic trick. And it was very easy for me. It was like, oh, because I do this every day. But she was like, wow, that helps. Thank you so much. Now I know how to proceed. And I hadn't critiqued it. I didn't say whether it was good or bad. I just said, this is what you need to do to tell this one story.
Yeah, I've experienced that with you as well. I think you came over to my house to help me out to break a feature on a whiteboard that I had in this office at one point. And it was like the same thing. It was just like literally watching like a masterwork. I consider craft to be like, I'm a carpenter. Yeah. Like I consider, like, look at me. Like I have a saw and I have a hammer and I have nails. Can I make a cabinet? In theory, yes. But is that a cabinet someone's going to want to pay $10,000 to do in a custom remodel in a home? Absolutely not. And so my skill set as a writer 10 years ago versus my skill set now compared to your skill set as a showrunner who's 26 years experience, vastly different scale. And I think pay changes and follows that skill set as well.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm hearing you say is there's a craft, there's a skill set. You can learn these things. It doesn't change your unique perspective, your voice, your tone, the way you see the world, your life experience, and all those beautiful things that you bring to the table that no one else can bring.
Right.
But it gives you a structure in which frees you up to express those things in your unique way.
Yeah, and it's almost like connect the dots. It's like, okay, for this story you need point A, B, C, D, and E, or whatever. And I'm not gonna budge. We need that point A, we need point B. How you want to get from A to B is your decision. But I'm not gonna let you, we need to have A and B, right?
Yeah.
And so there's plenty of room for creativity. Like I'm not saying you decide how you want to get from A to B. You could take a plane, you could take a boat, you could take a car, whatever. But we need A and B. So it was interesting that because she was so impressed, and I was like, I don't know why it wasn't that impressive from where I stand. It was like, oh, this is like a day's worth of work. It's not really like this is what I do for a living. It's not because I was hitting on the head with lightning or anything.